দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক RTV নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছে আমি সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত নেদারল্যান্ডসের রাষ্ট্রদূত হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি হ্যারি ফারেইজ। Very welcome, Excellency, at RTV.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahman. Really appreciate being here today.
Thank you. Is it your first visit in Bangladesh?
It's my first, well, I've been here now for 6 months, so I consider myself almost a citizen of Bangladesh.
Oh, great.
I feel very much at home, and after having spent many hours in Dhaka, but also many other places of the country, I really feel welcome and at home in this country.
Great. It makes us happy that you feel like you're home here. Well, Excellency, Ambassador, prior our discussion, let us have a look on your daily activities.
Very short. Of course, it is basically an office job.
Well,
but the challenge for an ambassador is to really go out and meet people, go to your projects, and visit the country. And the most important thing and the most interesting element of my job is just go out, meet Bangladeshi wherever they are in Bangladesh, and it has really been a great pleasure for me. So for my job, to do my job well, to inform my government on all the aspects of the Bangladeshi government, it's very important to get out of the office. But you know, very often bureaucrats tend to stay at their desk too long. But my daily life consists, of course, of meetings, of visiting a project, meeting with your high officials of the country, and what I like very much personally as well to meet business people.
Great.
I'm really very pleased with all the discussions I've had with your top business leaders, and I've learned very much from them.
Great. Let's have a look your daily activities. Wonderful. We find how you busy from morning to evening in your work. Well, Excellency, you have a high mission to represent the Netherlands here in Dhaka, Bangladesh, as an ambassador. Would you please share your experience so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, for us as the Netherlands, we have I think a specific relationship with Bangladesh.
Well,
I think we've been with Bangladesh ever since its independence in 1971. I think we have really built on a friendship that is really mutual and reciprocal. And I think, you know, I feel very much blessed to be able to represent my country here and feel so many friends among us. I think a few things that are really that we share. And one of the most important things that we share is both being a Delta country.
Delta country.
And so there are many similar things, and that is what we recognize in each other.
Exactly.
Another thing that I find that we share is the entrepreneurial spirit. The fact, really business spirit. People really want to make something out of this country, and you have shown to do so. If you look at the past 10, 15, 20 years, you have really taken a lot of people out of poverty, and your economy has expanded tremendously, and it is impressive. And so this is another thing that we really value in each other, I guess.
Great. Excellency, Bangladesh and Netherlands enjoying 46 years of bilateral relations. How do you anticipate these relations developing further in coming days?
Well, these relations will certainly change. Over the past 46 years, it was more like a donor-recipient relation.
Exactly.
And I think this is actually changing.
Change.
We are changing into a mature, bilateral economic relationship, which we are going really to expand on. So we have chosen a few sectors in which we will be very active. One of them is the maritime sector. The other one is the agricultural sector.
Exactly.
And we will also remain very much involved in the RMG, the garment sector. So if you give you a few examples as to what kind of activities that will entail, one of course is port development.
Port development.
You have one very important port that is called Chittagong. And I think a lot of improvements are necessary. We have a very important port in Europe, the biggest port in Europe. It's called Rotterdam. And Rotterdam has a lot to offer for Chittagong to ensure that the port will actually fit for the growing economy of this country. So that is one of the things that we really do. Pira Port, this new great project of Bangladesh that we support wholeheartedly.
Well,
a Dutch firm, Royal Haskoning, has concluded an agreement with Bangladesh recently to make a master plan for that port. So this is another thing that we do: engineering, consultancy, knowledge institutions. So besides all of that, so there's a lot of things going on also in the food security sector. For instance, on food safety, we work very closely with FAO, the World Food Organization of the United Nations, whom we fund with a big project of 50 million euros to ensure a process that ensures food safety in this country and consistency of the products, which is extremely important as well, I would think. And another thing, we work very closely also on, for instance, food fortification, rice fortification. And many potatoes, for instance, in this country have come from Dutch potato seed.
Yes, it is very popular, and
interesting, isn't it?
I think most of people in our country knows that, and it is popular. It's called potatoes from Holland.
Yeah, so that makes me very proud as an ambassador. You can imagine. So just to eat Dutch potatoes in Bangladesh is, of course, a daily pleasure. So I think if you look at all of this, there's a lot of things that we work on together. My line is always, I think it's joint programming, collaboration. And we can learn a lot from Bangladesh because you have worked with this country, with this land, with this water for ages and ages. You have learned to work with it. We have learned to work with it, and we can learn from each other. So that is my aim for our future relationship.
Thank you. What do you think? What is the most important sector here for development?
Well, for developments, I think in this country there are many sectors that could be developed. I think obviously the garment sector, the textile sector is extremely important, and it will remain important for Bangladesh for a very long time to come. And we will remain your partner on that issue. There are other sectors of the economy which are very promising, and the Netherlands will focus on two of them. We will focus on the maritime sector, and on the agricultural sector. These are the two sectors that we really want to expand together.
Excellency, Netherlands is a trusted trading partner. More than 100 Dutch companies shows their interest to Bangladesh.
Yes.
What do you think? How can we strengthen our relationship?
Well, a lot needs to be done because there is, of course, a very strong Dutch-Bangladeshi trade relationship. We are the top 10 foreign investor in your country as well. But the ease of doing business in this country still needs to be improved. And I find it very promising that many interlocutors, many authorities with whom I have had discussions have actually promised me that these things will improve in the medium term. So this means that business can easily be set up here, that you can actually make a profit, that you can actually get your licenses as quickly as possible. And what is very important, I guess, is really to merge in joint ventures to ensure that a Dutch and a Bangladeshi side works together. And once this happens, you find a lot of success. One of the biggest companies in the Netherlands that works here is Unilever. And this company has been here since 1964. Exactly. And it has been extremely profitable and to the benefit of Bangladesh.
And they're working here very profitably.
That's what they do, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Excellency, what do you think, what is the priority areas you think to work and emphasize during your tenure?
There are a few things that I think is very important. First of all, I already mentioned the Delta Plan, which is a joint Dutch-Bangladeshi effort, but it's mainly a Bangladeshi effort, obviously, because it's an integral development plan of this country, which we found extremely, extremely courageous of your Prime Minister to have adopted this plan. So we will be involved in that plan into its implementation phase as well. And obviously, once it gets implemented, we also hope that we could have, that some business will come from it as well. So this is a very important element. Expanding trade relations with Bangladesh, very important. Another thing, obviously, is ensuring and advocating for an open political and civic space in this country, so that free political phase is really possible. So that's what we're aiming for as well. Next to that, we're very active in the RMG sector, in the garment sector. And we are safety for the workers, working conditions, good salaries, and of course also the pricing issue for the value of the products of Bangladesh on the European market. So these are three of major issues that I'm working on at this moment.
Well, Excellency, you are talking about the Delta Plan. In your view, what are the potentialities?
These are enormous.
And how will we utilize?
Well, you're already utilizing much of it. And I think you have many experts that really have a vision in further promoting and further developing this country. This country has a lot of coastal lands. And within these coastal lands, you need to have a particular management to ensure that people really improve and benefit from it. I just met a lady not too long ago. She's called Saleha, and she was working. She had, I think you call it 150 decimal of land, but almost 80% of it was on the water. And we have promoted the program on the Chars in Bangladesh in order for her and for 140,000 others to expand her aerial land.
How to utilize.
How to utilize it, but also to make it dry and to make sure that the polders are really working as a polder.
Great.
So this is really effective on the concrete.
Thank you very much. As we know, Netherlands has a big experience because you are surrounding by water. What do you think? What are the untapped areas?
So I already mentioned the maritime sector, and the maritime goes beyond the Delta Plan. So what we actually aim for is to work with Bangladesh on shipbuilding and port building. For instance, Chittagong and Pira Port, just 2 weeks ago we concluded an agreement, Hasan, a Dutch engineering firm, to make a master plan for Pira Port, so we're already involved in that one. Chittagong Port, we're heavily involved in improving its facilities. But also, I think it's important to note that we also work on what I would say a transfer of knowledge. Transfer of technology. To ensure that at a certain stage, Bangladesh will be able to modernize and be able to work with its own workers and produce high quality products. And this seems to be contradictory. It seems to be very easy to sell high-quality products just to Bangladesh and leave it behind. But we sell a concept, which means that we also sell, a long-term relationship in building up a Bangladeshi industry.
Well, Excellency, Verweij, we'll talk more after a short break. দর্শক দেখছেন আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক RTV নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এই পর্যায়ে নিচ্ছি বিরতি, ফিরছি একটু পরেই। সে পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আবারও আমন্ত্রণ ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। কথা বলছিলাম বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত নেদারল্যান্ডসের রাষ্ট্রদূত হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি Verweij's সাথে। ওয়েলকাম এগেইন, এক্সেলেন্সি, আর RTV স্টুডিও। Seaport is another geopolitical issue here in Bangladesh. Netherlands has experience of building and developing seaport around the world. How does Bangladesh take the privilege?
I think our policies are that we would like to be, as an embassy, to be a broker, basically, between your people and ours. So that means you would like to make a relationship between your knowledge institutions, between your authorities,
to make it breeze,
and ours, to make it work together, and to ensure that Chittagong can actually grow with the growing economy. Well, because it's a very important factor that the major seaport of this country fits with the economy. Well, and I think we can, transfer some ideas, discuss issues with you, and see how we can move further. And in the meantime, we could also work with you with engineering consultancies to help you make master plans for other ports in this country, like Pira Port, which I think will be extremely difficult, important addition to the economy of Bangladesh. So I think your government has understood that the seaport, as is the airport, by the way, extremely important elements for the growth of the economy.
Excellency, your government is engaged in reproductive health rights issues, also the RMG and food security in Bangladesh. Can you please share any success story from your side?
Absolutely. I was very privileged to meet a girl called Shakina. Yeah, and she. This is on the SRHR issue, and especially on the early married girls. And she was married when she was 15.
When she was 15.
And she had 2 disabled children. And she really didn't know how her future would be shaped like. And then she was she had the benefit of being part of a Dutch program, In Age, it's called. Well, and in that program, they learned her how to work for a profit and to work for a salary. And now she works for a garment factory. She earns money and she can actually provide for her 2 children. So this is, I guess, when I met her, I really felt this is a big success story. And it's not only a success story for her, but also for 9,000 other similar cases, if I may say so, similar girls who were early married and now have a future in their lives. So I think this is really a success story that I'm very proud of.
Great. About the food security and RMG,
yes.
What you want to say?
Well, on the RMG, I have a few observations that I would like to share with all of you. The RMG sector, so the garment sector, is an extremely important export sector of this country. And we consider ourselves partners of this sector. And as the sector exports a tremendous amount of value to the European Union. Of course, we have worked, and ever since Rana Plaza, obviously, very hard with this sector on safety for the production facilities and for the workers. And I think, and I just want to applaud many of the producers and the manufacturers who have actually achieved a lot in improving safety for workers in Bangladesh, and I really want to applaud them. But there's still many things still to be done. And one, of course, is other working conditions, the right to unions, and of course a decent salary for all. This is what we really want to achieve with the sector, and we will continue to be very much involved in that.
Well, Excellency, what do you think about global warming? That is the thing. We are one of the vulnerable country, about the most countries to direct effect from global warming, and Netherlands also not far from that issue. What do you think?
Prevention is no longer possible, I would say. The only thing you can do is adapt to the new situation. Time is up. Time is up. I really think it's moving very fast ahead, and we don't know how to make sure that all of us in the world are on the same page. But us, 2 countries, Bangladesh, Netherlands, both Delta countries, suffering from the sea rise and other climate consequences. I think we should really hold our hands together and make sure that we just take a few small steps ourselves. And one of the few small steps, if I may, that Bangladeshi could take is start recycling plastic, for instance, or start, with other means of transport and public transportation in order to prevent exhaust gases. So there's many things that we all can do. Take it in small steps, but please take steps, because time is up as far as climate is concerned.
It's a high time to step in. Well, Excellency, what you hope to achieve during your tenure as ambassador of Netherlands here in Bangladesh?
Well, the most important thing that I want to achieve is that we remain a friend of Bangladesh, and that we can expand on our friendship, but also expand on our economic relations. And I would like to say to Bangladesh, brand your country. Ensure that people know about the success of Bangladesh, because in Europe, hardly anyone knows anything about Bangladesh. So there's a tall thing that you have to do, and this is really to market, brand your nation abroad. Explain about the economy, explain about the productivity of Bangladeshi workers, and explain about the vibrancy and the creativity of this economy. That is one of my aims. One of the other aims is, if I may, also to ensure and help and discuss and advocate for an open civic and political space. This is extremely important for the support of a growing economy, because you need space to be free, you need space to not agree with anyone, and to feel free to say whatever you want to say. So this is another thing that I would like to be in contact with, to be in exchange with Bangladesh. Thirdly, of course, as we have been so much involved in the RMG sector, we would really hope that the RMG sector will continue its improvements and build upon its success, both economically and in terms of safety, security, and well-being of its personnel. So these are three of my main aims that I will be working on. If you allow me, I would like to take one other point. One other point that is extremely important. This is the refugee crisis in Cox's Bazar. The 1 million refugees, the 1 million Rohingyas that have found accommodation and safe place here in Bangladesh. And I think I should first of all say, listen, I wish Europe would be as accommodating to refugees as your Honourable Prime Minister has been. This is an extremely tall effort and a success of Bangladesh. But now, of course, the follow-up. How are we going to ensure that these people remain safe and can, in the final end, return on a dignified and voluntary manner back to Myanmar?
Exactly.
And I would like to say we all stand with you. It's an international matter. It should not be an issue that is just merely between Bangladesh and
Excellency,
Myanmar.
thank you very much to take this point. Do you think the international community, what they are doing, it is enough?
I think the international community has still a lot to do. I think I should recognize many efforts that the international community has done, including my own minister, Syed, who has visited Bangladesh and Myanmar quite recently. But other ministers have been here, the Danish, the Japanese. So many officials come to really understand the situation and also exchange with Myanmar and maybe also put pressure on them to ensure that a safe and dignified return for the refugees is eventually possible. But I think we should be honest with each other that on the short and mid-term, this is not going to happen. So we should also focus on the humanitarian approach towards these people. And I should say that Bangladesh has worked very professionally together with many of the assistance that they have gotten from the UN agencies and from bilaterally from other countries and from NGOs. And I think as time progresses, we also need to work on a few other issues that are very important in the refugee crisis. And this is that to ensure that people will benefit from education, from vocational training, and basically we need to ensure that they have something to do, because otherwise, if girls and boys have nothing to do, this will eventually be an extremely difficult and dangerous maybe situation. Thank you.
Excellency, we are almost end of this program. Any final thought you want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, there's so many thoughts. Let me just maybe pick out a few. I mean, I think...
I want to say, lots of people, they know about the flowers of Holland.
Look at this.
Some people like the potatoes, that is a 20, 30 years back, it was very popular, and still it is potatoes from Holland.
Yeah.
That is very good potatoes, very tasty, sometimes maybe delicacy in your dining, your dinner or lunch. Flowers is one, the beautiful flower field in Holland, in especially your spring time.
Yeah.
Bangladesh, also beautiful country.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful country. And the final thought, let me just say, I think what I would like to do is to tap into the vibrancy and the creativity of Bangladeshi, and to make sure that we learn from that. What I would like to tap in is from the friendliness of the Bangladeshi people. I wish we were as friendly, we were as welcoming as you have shown to be. And I think this country has a tremendous potential, has a very big entrepreneurial spirit. The country has a big heart.
Thank you.
And I think this is what I, as a final thought, I would say, this is, could you have as an ambassador any better basis to work on? And
Great.
I think that's why I continue to feel very happy and very proud here in Bangladesh.
Thank you very much, Excellency, to share your views with us and giving your time here.
It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you all success.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. দর্শক, নেদারল্যান্ডস বাংলাদেশের ঘনিষ্ঠ রাজনৈতিক বন্ধু। দুই দেশের মধ্যে রয়েছে 4.5 দশকেরও বেশি সময়ের সম্পর্ক। স্বাধীনতার পর থেকে দেশটি আমাদের দেশের পানি সম্পদ উন্নয়ন সহ বিভিন্ন ক্ষেত্রে সহযোগিতার হাত বাড়িয়েছে। বর্তমান সরকারের ডেল্টা প্ল্যান বাস্তবায়নেও নেদারল্যান্ডস সরকার তাদের সহযোগিতার হাত বাড়িয়েছে, যা অনুদান থেকে রূপ নিয়েছে বাণিজ্যে। মাননীয় রাষ্ট্রদূতের কথার সূত্র ধরেই আমরা বলতে চাই, ভবিষ্যতে দুই দেশের মধ্যকার দ্বিপাক্ষিক এই সম্পর্ক আরও উন্নত, দীর্ঘস্থায়ী এবং অটুট হবে। এই প্রত্যাশা শেষ করছি আজকের ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।